Hey everyone, I'm Rick, creator of Revelation Skirmish, which is a destructive combined arms miniatures game that you can 3D print from home. Now in this video today we're going to be assembling a brand new hunter, specifically the Savage pose. And you'll see, if you haven't seen pictures yet, you'll see what I mean when it's done. Now you can purchase this model from our site, link is in the description below. So this version of the hunter, you're already going to have the legs assembled. So if you're 3D printing these from home, you can also mirror the legs, so it'll give you an extra set. But the arms are going to still continue to be broken up into sections. We feel that that is the best way to get the cleanest sort of assembly when you're all said and done, like the cleanest looking model. So you're going to have both shoulders, both elbows, both forearms, both hands are going to all be separate. You have the optical sensor and the main thruster, along with obviously the torso. So you're going to get a 50mm WarMech base. Notches are going to indicate the rear arc as always. So first thing we're probably going to go ahead and do, we'll skip that. Let's first do the thruster so that that has time to dry, as we also then do the optical sensor. So it's always good to just do a quick dry fit right before you start gluing, just in case, to make sure that everything is going to assemble the way that you would prefer. And I'm using some Zap-A-Gap brand of super glue. It's my preferred glue, but most of the other super glues will work. You do not want to use plastic glue though, because with these being resin models, plastic glue doesn't really do a whole lot for you. So we're going to have the optical sensor pointed straight on ahead. You can have yours kind of aimed the direction that you would prefer. So let that go ahead and continue to dry. With the feet here, they should be very level, which they're very, very stable as is, but sometimes you may have to shave a little bit extra off the bottom in order to get it the way that you'd like. So I'm going to have mine posed basically straight on, well, more a little bit to the side, but it's going to be this way for the torso when it is assembled. So we're going to go ahead and add a small amount of glue here to the feet. I don't want to add too much right now because I always like to keep my models able to be removed from the base fairly easily, so that way once I do paint them, I can take them off the base and then you know, add all the other textures and colors and everything else I want to do to the base so that it really finalizes the finished model here. So then we can go ahead and add a bit of glue here to the torso while we wait for the foot to dry and kind of maximize our time here. We want him, like I said, we want him aiming opposite of the rear arc. And this is one of those poses that is very intimidating. That was our intention anyway. So we want to try to really sell that here when we get it all finally assembled. So we want to also make sure that the arms are angled in such a way to really kind of accentuate that open-handed, clawed, you know, angry hunter pose. Now moving on to the arms, we're going to start with the left arm. And I'd like to point out that with these shoulder pieces here, if you find a nub or what looks like a bolt, it's actually an optics for the hunter, and that is supposed to be pointed towards the rear. So if you find where the nub is, you want that being this direction on the hunter. So we'll add some, and then real quick before we put that on, we're going to dry fit the elbow. That does fit. And now I'm going to angle this a bit more so it's aiming kind of behind the hunter, because then when it's all said and done, you want the arm kind of coming out and then angled back up, so that way you can really see the open and angry kind of pose. And then with the elbows here, I'd like to point out that on one side you'll see it is flat, on the other side there's going to be this H kind of shaped panel that is going to indicate the outside of the mech. So if you look at it head on to where my point of view is, if the H is this way, I know that this is the left arm. So we'll add some glue for this piece and set that in there, and again angling it outward some. Now while that fully cures, we're going to go ahead and start working on the right arm. So just try to fit the elbow real quick. That's good to go. Set that on. And these arms don't have to be, you know, perfectly symmetrical. You can have them slightly off from the other one. You know, whatever kind of really makes the hunter feel more alive and reacting to something, about ready to charge into battle, or, you know, whatever kind of narrative you have for your particular hunter here. And with the Savage, I mean, it's really meant to kind of really show that off. So you want to definitely take advantage of these hands. Alrighty. So let's go ahead and begin to work with the left forearm. And we know that it's going to plug in somewhere here. Put the glue there. You may have to change that. No, I think that'll work. And now we'll work on the right. Switch back over, we're going to do the left hand. And just to kind of know, once it's going to be plugged in, kind of get an idea of how we want it to be. These hands were a lot of work. Funny enough, they were a big deal during the modeling process for us to get them just like this. So I really, for my own personal collection, you know, I really want to be able to show these hands off, because hands, believe it or not, they're not overly difficult. It's something that seems so simple, but when you're modeling them, or in my case, having them commissioned to be modeled, it is special consideration that needs to be done in order for them to do this exact pose. Is both simple and, like, you know, you would think very, very, it wouldn't be very complex, but it actually was quite an endeavor. And I'm so excited that we actually were not only able to accomplish it, but do it to such a level that it is exactly what I was trying, or what I envisioned. And there we have it. There is the Savage Hunter, ready to jump in and start slashing apart some enemies. So thank you guys, as always, for watching. If you'd like to purchase this model, you can click the link in the description or go to our web store. Bye, guys.